Welcome to the Weirs Institute Newsstream platform. I am David Weirs, the instructor of this seminar. And today's lecture, I'm going to talk about van life and living in an RV. This is something I have a lot of experience in. I spent the better part of 5 years doing this in different types of vehicles. I know about living in vehicles, and I can give you some advice on what to do, what not to do, the pluses, the minuses. And as always, when it comes to business or when it comes to making a drastic life change like living in a vehicle, I'm just going to shoot straight with you. I'm not trying to sell you or promote you on nothing. I just want to put you up on some game and give you something to think about. And that's why you subscribe to the Weirs Media Institute or the Weirs Institute or the Newsstream Media or Newsstream Entertainment platform, however you get me. I'm glad that we get to spend this time together. So overall, I'm just going to talk about van life. If it's just you, you're better off. Okay. If you want to do this, it's very hard to convince somebody else to want to do this. And if you do this with somebody else who's not 100% sold on it, like I did for a couple of years, I had a wife that went with me in an RV. We bought a bigger RV because she was just never happy. And she was just never happy. She just ruined everything, bitching and complaining the entire time. I was just trying to live out a dream of mine to travel the United States, go to the Grand Canyon, go to Mount Rushmore, do a bunch of things, stay at a bunch of national parks, do some camping outdoors. I was content with just a Sprinter van. Okay. I was content with that. But no, it had to be a bigger RV. And it just so happened that I was able to trade some work for a vintage RV that had very low miles and had a diesel engine. So I was able to go a lot farther for the money. And I also spaced it out and timed it out during COVID. So I knew that a lot of people were going to be stuck indoors, which meant there weren't going to be a lot of people at the parks because everybody was just terrified that this virus was going to kill everybody, that you were going to come in physical contact with a shopping cart in some random store trying to buy milk for your kids, and you were going to instantly be vaporized into red ash. So, based on the fear and the fact that I had always been into the cleaning industry and cleaning crime scenes, and I know a lot about hazmat, and I know a lot about infectious disease control and all that stuff. That's my specialty and my forte. Knowing all of that and seeing everything that was unfolding before us with a worldwide epidemic, I knew it was the perfect time to roll out and just live a little, because retirement, which I'll talk about in another segment, retirement is not something you want to do when you're too old to enjoy it. So I figured, yeah, well, I'll put my business on hold for a minute, right? Or I'll just have it run remotely for me. I'll hit the open road with my bride. We will make love in all of these wonderful locations all over the United States, maybe even dip down into Mexico, just learn some things, have a great time. This is the plan. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. This is usually what if you're a van lifer or you're thinking about van life, you've got this fantasy of how it's going to play out. And I'm telling you, you got to do this by yourself. Or if you're going to do it with somebody, you got to do it with somebody who you have fully screened and fully talked about how this is going to pan out, because you're in close quarters with somebody with very minimal clothing. You can't bog down your coach. You can't be traveling with excess weight. And you might have to boondock, which means you might have to be in situations where you're off grid with no power and no bathroom. So you have to go to the bathroom in your vehicle next to somebody, right? And then you have to cook, or you have to have food. And is that person the type of person, like my wife at the time hated leftovers, couldn't do leftovers, never would do leftovers. So when you're in a vehicle and you're traveling to these remote places, coming up with 3 brand new meals every damn day that can keep somebody totally happy is hell on earth, because it's something that a grown up shouldn't have to do for another grown up. I was just so pissed and irritated all the time because I was like, fuck, can't you just eat some ramen or have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich once in a while? Or can't you eat just a banana or an avocado? No, it had to be something elaborate. So there always had to be restaurants involved. And if we went to the restaurants, God forbid there was leftovers, she wouldn't eat the leftovers. So the next day I had to have something to eat, and I would get that, oh, it's good to see that you have something to eat type of attitude. So, step 1 of the lecture, Van Life 101, part 1, the takeaway is, dude, do it yourself. There's lots of women out there doing it solo. There's lots of guys out there doing it solo. Do it yourself. That's the first thing I could say. Because the simpler, the better. All right. You do not want to be trying to figure out your dreams as a captain of your own boat when you're dragging an anchor the entire time you're at sail. So, needless to say, after about 2.5 years of being on the road and kind of still enjoying myself to the fullest that I could, and you can see those pictures on my Facebook or Instagram or whatever, just dig back, 4 or 5 years, you'll see a ton of that stuff. I did erase a lot of that stuff to make way for new stuff. And plus, I had a lot of pictures with her on there. And, it was just living with that woman, not just like in the RV, but just living with that woman was just a traumatic experience. It was terrible. There was never any sex on the road like you would think. They're going to these awesome places and like, look, babe, it's the Alamo. How fantastic. Davy Crockett was here. This type of stuff was not exciting enough for the bougie princess who needed to have, Michelin star meals all the time. And she was just crushing my budget. It was horrible. I had to keep going back to work. Or keep whipping my horses that were working for me and providing me enough money to make this trip. It was hell on earth, guys. I'm telling you, gals out there, listen. Don't do this with a pet. Definitely don't do this with a pet. Okay, do not go on the road with a dog or cats or anything like that. You will be screwed. Do not do that. Okay, don't do it. Do not do it with another person. If this is something you've always wanted to do in your life, treat it like everything else. Treat it like watching this video or watching my videos, okay? Don't wait for the perfect opportunity to Netflix and chill with your bae and watch this stuff. You're not going to, he's going to distract you, she's going to distract you. You are not going to get the messages. It's not going to hit the same. It's not the same. If you're a traveler by heart, that's half of us. Half of the people in the world are nomadic. The other half are villagers. They want to stay someplace. They want to cultivate and they want to colonize somewhere. That's how there's people all over the world. This is why. Because the travelers go out there and they find a new body of water or a new mountain range or a ton of elk somewhere. And they're like, shit, we could set up shop here. This is beautiful. And then they set up shop, and then the members of the group that were in the other city, if they've already killed those resources or they want a change of scenery, now they've got a new colony they can go check out. So they go over there and they set up shop and they live their whole lives while the nomads are out there exploring and doing the Lewis and Clark thing and just finding whole new things like I am now. I'm in South America. I'm nomadic. I'm bouncing around. Home is where the heart is. I'm going to eventually, probably find a place that I could say, hey, when the time comes that my legs don't work anymore or I'm just getting too old for this shit, I can settle down. So van life, man, yes, I highly recommend. It's awesome, but do it solo.